Mildred D. Taylor. Just so you know, I fell for you first. Maybe it's because that Logan boy and I shared the same name I was birthed with. I mean, back then I had never been to the Deep South, and I'm sure Stacy Logan knows more about the land than I do. Anyway, I was in 6th grade when we met. You didn't know it, but you introduced me to black literature, and I'm not afraid to claim that title or to separate Israelite writers into the category of their own. How could our experiences not be likened to a roll of thunder? You were that seed planter for the rooted passion I now carry with me. Sister Soldier. You always kept it real, so I'ma return the favor. You see, my eyes hypnotized every young man who lusted for my little sweet self, all fresh and new and walking all ladylike. And then you came knocking at my consciousness like the coldest winter ever, but claim no disrespect. I'm sure we connected by way of the struggle. You see, I was brought up in the Robert Taylor Projects on Chicago's South Side, so crackheads, rats, and hunger didn't alarm me. I fell in love with the way you never sugarcoated the truth, and anyone who's been where we've been know just how real your words are. Maya Angelou. How long must the caged bird write before she sings? I can't credit myself for coming up with that line. You showed me how a poet can use metaphors to write fiction too, and even though your memoir is all truth, your talent transformed it into something that can be considered just as poetic as phenomenal women. Your voice was passionate and strong and thundered like waves of air across the sky, and even in death is your memory, still that uplifting arm rising like dust and written down in history. Mizaki Shang. Speaking of poetry, ever since I heard you speak, I wanted to write for colored girls. You brought me back to those soldier days with your raw tongue and how it unfolded from the very bottom of your gut and lifted the skirts of every pain black women have endured since the days their slave masters told them that rainbows weren't enough. You didn't write the way that I was taught in school, you wrote the way that I spoke. You see, like when my friends and I crowded around the front porch and my boyfriend was whispering quite literally sweet nothings in my ear, and I laughed stupid like you pretty was something revolutionary enough to show my privates for. Toni Morrison. By the time I got to you, my thoughts started to evolve into a wanting I couldn't put my finger on. My mind had gone from reading for entertainment to studying the books I read. You see, I was on a search for something deeper than cotton fields, magnolia trees, and project rats. By the time you came along, I was reading it between the lines and trying to find that thing called freedom. And I wondered just how deep I had to look for that tar baby. Gwendolyn Brooks. As soon as I found out you was from my hometown, we bonded. Was real cool like besties from the low end on the south side. Bonded like 47th Street and State, Bronzeville or Inglewood. You see, your lyrics had depth like the deep south you were born in, but had that look about it that screamed Chi-Town. Simple poetry that spoke volumes. You taught me that if I loved him the right way, saw him the way I was supposed to, that a man became more than just a body. Terry McMillan. I can read you anytime, and Lewis will always seem like the same Ray Ray and Pookie we all know. You perfected the art of black family life and character development. Every book I read of yours sends me into that world, and I'm just laughing and shaking hands with your people like they my people because they are. I have stayed up plenty of nights turning pages and laughing while trying to figure out just what it means to be a day late and dollar short. And that's that piece.